So this brings us to the final part of our three-part series. Jim in Puerto Vallarta trying to get rid of the sandals, trying to find Hugo, and does he do it? So stay tuned and watch the video. We'll see you at the end, and look forward to seeing you on perfectfittingshoes.com. Thank you.
There's these two aquariums, maybe 15-gallon, small little square aquariums embedded into the wall. And I'm thinking to myself, sarcastically, like, man, here it is, the aquariums, the wall. I'm looking for the aquarium, and I can't even find it, And I'm thinking, man, this is kind of ironic. And not 30 seconds after I'm thinking that thought, in walks this guy. And he's a local guy, and he speaks really good English. And he asked me in English, he's like, so what are you doing? And I said, I'm looking for the aquarium. He's like, this is the aquarium. I'm like, what do you mean this is the aquarium? He's like, right here, this is the aquarium. I'm like, pointing to the two aquariums. I'm like, you mean these two aquariums in the wall? This is the aquarium. He's like, yeah. What are you looking for? I'm like, well, I'm looking for Hugo. He's like, well, I know Hugo. He pulls out his phone. He's got Hugo on speed dial. Dials the number, pulls up. He starts talking to Hugo, and he hands me the phone. I'm like, man, I don't know Hugo. But my buddy did. My buddy referred me to talk to Hugo. Well, here's the phone. Talk to Hugo. So I talked to Hugo. Next thing I know, Hugo tells me where he is. I find out that the aquarium's a timeshare, selling for apartments or condos. And I'm like, oh, man, this guy's a marine biologist, but he's selling timeshares. So no wonder I couldn't find him, But I got lucky. I met the right guy at the right time that knew the right person and put me in touch with him. So Hugo got me started. Now then, that's another story. So anyway, I go see Hugo, and Hugo I get a couple of sales because he's working at a convenience store selling liquor, doing some various things, but he's also doing timeshare also at the same time during the day. So I talked to Hugo, we make a few sales, and he tells me where I can park at a KOA, Campground of America, in Puerto Vallarta. So I drive over there, park, and go to sleep, and he tells me to meet him the next day. So I do that. But that night, I'm sleeping in my cab of my truck, and it's kind of funny because as I'm sleeping, I hear this thump, and I'm like, what the heck is that? I'm poking my head around, wondering what the heck. Because I didn't hear anything after a thump. And I'm like, what the heck? And I'll be asleep, and I was like, thump. Like, son of a gun. I just didn't know what the heck it was. But I'm like, man, this has got to be a secret place. I'm looking around, don't see any light, don't see anything going on. And I couldn't figure it out. So I'm later, a couple of days later, I keep hearing this at night. And I'm like, finally I realized what it was, because during the day I heard a coconut fall. Boom. And I'm like, oh, those coconuts falling out of the tree, hitting the ground. And scared the shit out of me for a while, pardon my language. But anyway, so the next day I meet Hugo at his timeshare. He talks to me and he tells me, hey man, along here, what they call the Malecon, which is the beach area. Actually, in Puerto Vallarta, it's not the beach area. There's got a seawall area, but it's a lot of tourists, local stores and selling items to the tourists. And he told me that would be a good place for me to sell. So I go out there. It's not too far from the convenience store where he was, and I park my truck out there in the middle of the street, and not in the middle of the street, but in a parking side lot, parking area, and start pulling out some sandals. And my truck's full of sandals. So I start pulling out some sandals. Next thing you know, people start, asking me about them, and I start selling them, and I'm having pretty good sales. I'm selling like 10, 15 sandals, pretty good prices. But next thing I know, man, there's just a big old group of people. And I'm kind of nervous because I know how Mexico can be, because they do have enforcement police that, if you're selling outside certain zones, they can and they will confiscate all your product because you're not supposed to be doing that without a permit. And here I am selling without a permit. And so I'm kind of leery because I'm a gringo in Mexico selling without a permit. So I'm, doing my best to keep a low profile. But there's this big old crowd of 30 people. And I'm like, man, kind of nervous, but I'm glad I got this action going. I'm making these sales, and so I'm doing well. And toward the back, I see this guy standing, and he's patient. I'm thinking he's going to want to buy some sandals. And he's back there, and I'm saying, excuse me, sir, I'll be with you in just a minute. Let me finish these other people. He's like, no problem, I'm all cool. So I'm selling, taking care of all the people that got there before him, and finally get rid of all these people, make the sales, do all the things. And the guys, the last one there, and I'm like, because I'd been, man, it was toward the end of the day, it was like 6 o'clock, and I'm like, oh man, I just got to stop, because I was nervous I was going to get busted or whatever from local police. And so I'm sitting there talking to this gentleman, and I'm telling him, I said, sir, thank you for your patience. You're going to be my last customer because I got to pack up because I'm kind of nervous about, being out here selling without a permit because I know all these people probably aren't happy. I said, but I just got to make sales because I just had no money. And I told him about what had happened, with Hugo and all this stuff. And next thing I know, homeboy pulls up his shirt and he's got a badge there. He's like, yeah, I'm one of those police officers. And I'm like, oh man, no way. He's like, yeah. He's like, but you know what? And we're talking in Spanish. I spoke pretty good Spanish at the time. Or luckily before I didn't, but at that time I did. But anyway, we're talking, and he's like, you know what? No one's ever told me, honestly, that they were, selling illegally. So I appreciate your honesty. So I'm not going to do anything to you today. But if I catch you out here tomorrow, I'm going to have to confiscate your stuff and run you in. I said, thank you, officer. I promise you will not see me back out here again. He's like, hey, man, what about my sandal? I said, oh, sure, yeah, what do you want? What size you want? What size you need? And I was going to give it to him. The man paid me for my sandal. So I was very happy about that. So, not everybody in Mexico is corrupt. There are some honest and good people. You just got to be honest in return and not expect favors just because you're going to give them some money. So corruption's not, it's prevalent, but it's not rampant like you might think. There are some good people in Mexico, which is why I like living down there. So after my scare with that enforcement officer, I took it to heart. I didn't sell anymore on the street. I sold only to friends of Hugo's, any acquaintances that he could refer me to. But I also found 4 vendors that could sell, that could buy multiple pairs at one time. The only problem is they wouldn't pay cash up front. They all wanted to pay 30 days later. So I sold to a retail store called Gutierrez Rizo. They're in the old part of Puerto Vallarta, and they bought, I can't remember how many pairs, but more than a couple of hundred pairs. And after 30 days, they paid me. So I was kind of scared giving them all that inventory at first because I had to do a couple of trips to supply them with everything. But as I would go back over there resupplying them with more inventory, they paid me small increments, and then after 30 days they paid me the full amount. So everything was all paid up in full. I was able to pay the factory in full, made a couple extra bucks for my effort, mainly just to cover the gas costs and tolls going back and forth. But at least the factory was paid in whole, and I was able to honor my commitment to them. Later on, I went back to Los Angeles, talked to that gentleman, Rick, and tried to get him to understand that if he wanted to walk away from the company, that's on him. But I wanted to get all the point of sale publicity items that we had paid for with the money that I earned from the sales. And he didn't want to do that at first. He didn't want to give me anything. He wouldn't even answer the door. He wouldn't come outside the door when I finally got him to come to the front door. I just wanted to understand what was going on and why I was all done. He said he just lost all hope in making something happen with Mexico, so he had to bail on us. And man, you just did it at the wrong time. I paid the factory off. Thank you, Luis, for producing all those. Thank you, Hugo, for taking care of me while I was in Puerto Vallarta and introducing me to everybody else. Thank Efrain for introducing me to Hugo. And even though it was a long distance referral, and thank you for everybody for helping me out to make sure that endeavor was a success. So that's the end of this video, and I appreciate you for watching it. Tune in for more stories of things that I've done in the past. A lot of it has to do with me running factories down in Mexico, having to go through the different situations that periodically occur when you're dealing with the government or the infrastructure that Mexico has. Great place, great people, but sometimes some things are not quite as reliable as you'd like them to be. So anyway, thank you very much, and it was a pleasure talking about this story, and I hope you got a good insight for the way I am. Have a good day, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.
Well, that brings us to the conclusion of this video, creating AquaTeck Sandals. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed making it, and appreciate all the time you spent watching it. I look forward to offering a lot of advances in the design of shoes with our company, Perfect Fitting Shoes, based upon the knowledge that I gained as an entrepreneur running the company AquaTeck Sandals. So again, as always, we look forward to hearing any input from our consumers or the marketplace. Any input you might want to provide, we definitely appreciate. Thank you again, and we'll see you again at perfectfittingshoes.com. Bye-bye.